This is Movies, a podcast about the act of cinema. And with me today, he's Mr. Fantastic. It is Hans.
Hello. Weren't we supposed to have a guest for this show that flunked out, ended up recording his own episode like the little bitch? And I mean that in a physical, not just emotional way.
Hold on a second. I won't take for besmirching the name of Simeon, Jimmy, or Egg White because we went ahead and recorded our very own Superman 2025 pod. And honestly, we scheduled like 3 of those where we agreed to do the show with them. And then there were about 3 different programs with varying guests there. So we were supposed to do a crossover on Fantastic Four. I believe that's why you went to the theater to go see this movie. I showed up, not opening night, because I guess Amazon Prime rewards users got to see the movie early. They got available
Oh,
tickets before.
what a treat.
Yeah, it really must be. I mean, we'll talk about it when we get into things, but yeah, I mean, Friday, I guess, was technically opening day, but the way that they release movies nowadays is so confusing because you get the Thursday night, like,
Mm.
premiere, but that's not counted as opening day. And oftentimes, you can go see that movie at 10 in the morning on a Thursday. It did not used to be that way. Sometimes they would do like 10 o'clock Thursday night. You can be the first one to see The Avengers. You can be the first one to see Dark Knight Rises. You can be the first one to see Inception. Now it's literally like 8 a.m. Thursday morning. This isn't the first day, but hey, show up. We'll just throw it into the tally for the first day.
Well, remember when they used to do midnight releases, right? And you would just go. I think I went to see Attack of the Clones. Was that the third one from the
Second one.
original trilogy? The second one. And I fell asleep throughout like the last hour. I woke up. Is the second one the one? No, I think the third one's the one that has the big battle, right? I
No,
fell
no, no, no.
asleep.
Well, it depends on what you mean by big battle. There's a war in Attack of the Clones, and that's the second movie. There's a lightsaber
Okay.
battle. Actually, there's lightsaber battles in all of them.
In all of them. Yeah. Is the boring one the second one is the boring one, right? Where there's a lot of politics in it.
There's a lot of politics in it. I never considered
I
it
think-
boring, even as a kid. When we went and watched the original series of Lucas Star Wars films with Jerry for the show, I feel like that one was the biggest slog to get through.
I think it's the one that has the most romance and the most like, that thing where they just talk about politics in that room
Count
with like
Dooku is a thinly
yeah.
veiled surrogate for George W. Bush.
Yeah. That one I fell asleep and woke up when the battle started. That's the one thing I remember from, but because I saw it in like whatever late night release it was. Remember when GameStop used to do that? And people would line up outside of GameStop to get a midnight release of a game.
They would do
Do
that
you
with
remember that?
Circuit City as well,
Mm.
Best Buy, all the outlets, and people would
Mhm.
go ham over it. Eli Roth featured that as a component for Thanksgiving, and it felt so dated in that movie because
Yeah.
people don't do that anymore. They order on Amazon and they get it sometimes, if they're lucky, a day or two before it's even supposed to be out. So, but yeah, I kind of miss that culture. I mean, really, it only exists now in Black Friday shopping, and even that is mitigated these days.
Well,
Speaking of which,
online shopping
I
took
was
care of that,
I was
right?
going to say, yeah, with online shopping, people should go to mslfilm.com and get tickets. We're less than a month away from the premiere screenings of Mass State Lottery. And if you
Yeah,
can't
bro.
go, you should at least buy a t-shirt. I'm having some wacky ideas about what to do with these screenings here. Because
Mm.
remember back in the day, they used to say, if you showed up to Clue at this theater, you got this ending. If you showed up to Clue at this theater in this city, you got a different ending. I'm starting to have thoughts like that. Like maybe I should design different versions of the movie for every single one of these premiere screenings. And then
Hmm.
I'm having other ideas as well. I actually had an idea that would involve you performing live in front of in front of
Mm.
the audience, which I know you would not go for in a million years.
Nope.
But it could also
I'm gonna.
utilize a couple of other familiar faces. We'll see. We're going
Hmm.
to have some guests lined up, though, for some of these screenings that Hans and I will be attending. You're going to see multiple people from the Headshot extended universe and also from the movie Mass State Lottery. Boston is sold out. Boston is staying sold out. I think we'll probably add another screening at some point.
Mm.
Not this week. It's going to be a jam-packed week. We're going to be traveling along the Northeast quite a bit. New
Yeah.
York, we're still selling tickets. Los Angeles, Hans and I will not be there in person, but we are still selling tickets. It's a month from the day we're recording this episode of the show, July 28th, August 28th, Los Angeles, California. We're going to sprinkle in a little extra something for that one since we can't be there. MSLfilm.com. You can get your tickets now. They're going quick. Athens, Georgia. How could I forget
Yeah.
Athens? They're flying me out for that. They're paying for my flight and my stay. Amazing. I learned.
Yeah.
Oh, so we got in here. It's a beautiful looking festival. The other selections in there look really cool. You know, sometimes you submit off to these festivals. You don't really do your research. You're just kind of like, oh, yeah, cool. There's another set of laurels we can throw on the movie poster or whatever. They do this very done up. It looks great. It looks like it's going to be a fantastic time. I will probably be there since I've agreed and it's all free. I just got to get on a plane. But you never know
Yeah.
what might happen.
How long of a flight is it? Like 3 hours?
No, it's like 2 hours. It's not even 3 hours.
Oh,
I hate,
yeah.
honestly, I just dread doing things, which sucks because it's
I feel
always
you.
like the most fun once you're doing them, unless it's like
Yeah.
a lot of work, because then sometimes it's very stressful. But even then, you're grateful later on that you went ahead and did it. But just the lead up to doing things, I despise it so much.
Dude, as someone that works at home in his underwear, that sounds like a different thing than when I do. I never leave my home unless I have to like go buy cat food or whatever. So I feel the same way as you were. It's just like, can I just send like a video from my phone? Like,
Hmm.
but if they're paying for you to go and everything, like,
Yeah.
it's a treat for anyone that's going. You know, you'll get to
Oh, I
interact
don't.
with him
I
and
don't
you
want
want
to. No, I don't
you
want to
want
interact with
you know
anybody.
if you wanna interact with LowRes, you can just go to Georgia. You know
Absolutely
that he's not
no.
gonna you know that he's not gonna have his little bodyguard, which is me, to protect him. So you have a free reign to what you can do to him on stage.
No, dude. No, no, no. I'm going in disguise, first of all. I'm going to shave my mustache and dye my hair red. I'm going to look like Richie Rich showing up to that screening. That actually, you know
Maybe
what?
a
That happened to
bronzer.
me. That
Puerto Rican LowRes is gonna show up to Athens.
I'm going to
Just
actually thin
bronzer.
out my mustache, and yeah, I will have a spray tan going for me. That happened to me recently where I was walking in New York, and then I just heard very loudly, "Low Res Wonder Bread," and
Ooh.
that was quite a surprise. That immediately chills down my spine. I was like, "Oh God,
Oh no.
I got to speed
What
walk
have
out
I
of
been
here."
accused of? Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's this? Oh no.
Well,
Yeah. And then it was
speaking,
just a scary man.
it's always a man. It's never a woman. Please. What I mean, honestly, if it was a woman, it might be even scarier because what type of
Yeah,
lady is listening to this show?
fair enough. I mean, and I'm not gonna shit on the two female that listen to the
No,
show. So
absolutely not. We
thank
love
you.
the
Love you
ladies
guys.
of the movies podcast. We don't have any women on ever. We tried to have one female guest on this last
And, and,
Saturday. Didn't work
and guess
out.
what? Yeah, what happened? Oh, she double booked. Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's what you get. You get one woman a year, and then she was
What not
double
even a
booked. So,
year. One woman in like 6 years. So there you
yep.
go. Anyway, we got to talk about Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four. This was a situation where I got the tickets. The tickets were very expensive. I wanted to see this in IMAX. I didn't see it in
Mm.
IMAX. I didn't even see it in like 4XD or whatever the hell they do, the knockoff one. Didn't even see it in that. But this is my third Pedro Pascal film I've seen in the movie theater in approximately a month and a half. I went to go see Materialists.
Okay.
That's now on streaming. I was thinking of
Um,
asking Kino Corner to do that episode. That's not even my idea. Somebody in the Discord said, "Hey, you guys should get Kino for Material." But now I'm feuding with Anna Kachian, I guess.
what a shame. You know, they're such important people in this space, that I don't think they should be the fucking, who cares?
Well, I
Let's
got
just
quote
say
tweeted and called
I don't like them.
retarded by Anna Kachian of the Red
I
Scare
know.
podcast because I keenly observed the truth, which is these two, and frankly, it's not just these two, but all of the women that they've inspired, these New York socialite wannabe 20 something dime square girls, the topic that interests them most is themselves, but the topic that interests them most on the surface is narcissism. They love to
Well,
identify and discuss narcissism. Where is narcissism found? And astutely, Anna Cashin points out that, alcoholics tend to be narcissists.
mm,
People who go to AA tend to be narcissists because they like to hear their own stories. It's like,
well,
cool observation. Yes,
wait, hold
yes,
on.
you really nailed it. People who are addicted to alcohol and love to share their stories happen to be narcissists. Wow, you're quite
Oh,
the profound thinker.
what a deep thought. The person that is willing to steal from their mother so they can buy a bottle of rubbing alcohol is a narcissist. Holy shit. I'm so happy that I'm following this person that has such deep insights and such a otherworldly knowledge of how the world works. I can't stand either of them. I'm glad that I'm finally able to say this because I because
Well,
you're there. So I usually try to not like go after New York people because I know that you live there. I'm really far. So like the
I'm
one that
trying to
might get
think.
repercussions is you, but
Has there ever been a situation where you've mouthed off about somebody and then that burnt a bridge for both of us? And I don't think that's happened yet.
well, because I feel like everything I say is kind of coming from a place of truth, not just shitting on someone for no reason, you know?
Well, wouldn't truth
Uh,
burn the bridge the worst?
if telling the truth burns the bridge with someone, I feel like that's someone that should not have access to your bridge. Horrible, horrible metaphor. But you know what I mean? Like if I can't tell you the truth because you'll get upset at me, then this is someone that I don't want to have a relationship with or
Sure.
anything with. So if that's the case, then who cares? I just feel like because they're so successful with their podcast, even though I've listened to maybe 15 minutes and I can't get past the vocal fry, that shit is unbearable to me. I just can't do it. But they've been elevated as thinkers, and I have never seen anything that anyone has shared that's worth repeating or that seems to be deeper than whatever the next OnlyFans lady would think of. And I feel like unfortunately, just because they mention philosophers' names sometimes that maybe you won't expect that girl to know, then they've been elevated as these
You
smart
don't
thinkers.
expect
But at the
girls
end of
to
the day,
think.
well, that's the thing. I'm not saying this, but
I'm
the fact that
saying it.
this is highlighted just shows you that the people that are elevated in them think that, oh my God, can you believe that women like Paglia? Can you believe that they're smart enough to understand her? Holy fuck, we should give them millions of dollars and think that everything they say is amazing and incredible and smart. And honestly, Dasha's movies are horrendous. All of the movies that she's made are shit, especially her movie. And I don't really care about Anna because honestly, like, what is she? Just an online person giving her opinion.
Well,
Just like we all are.
I'll say
Hold on, hold
about
on. But
yes.
let me finish but I just don't understand the elevation as like thinkers or like people that should be you're a podcaster, you're nothing, just shut the fuck up, you're not deep, this shit is not deep, you're just a woman in New York, there's nothing special about you. So the fact that they were just elevated and like have been so successful, it's as deep as like I said on our Discord, go join our Discord, as like a Call You Daddy podcast that's just being elevated because art horrors like them, and that's literally it. That's how I feel.
Well,
Even though
yeah,
I've
yeah,
always just
yeah.
thought
But
it
I
was
think
funny.
look, it's entirely legitimate if you want to cultivate an audience of art whores. I think that would be fantastic if we had some art whores in our audience. What can I say? We're lacking in art whores. You're undeniably correct about that. I mean, my problem
Fair.
with it really is because I don't dislike either one of them. Is they've been running on the same track for too long, not dissimilar to. God damn, the autofocus on this camera is wigging out. This camera's got to go. It started smoking when we were doing the show with Nick and Robbie. This is horrible. Anna Cashian, she can call me retarded. I'll say this. If your baby daddy leaves you before you turn 50, give me a call. I'll say that. Dasha, look, she's tried with her movies. You're not a fan. I didn't mind the code. I think Scary 61st, not so bad. I've got a copy on my shelf. But as far as people who are heralding talent, nah.
I mean, where are you? You were pushed to be a Succession character, What happened after that? Maybe people realize that maybe you're just not talented. Maybe you're just a blonde
I,
girl that's
I don't I
boring.
don't think listen, I don't think it's fair to say she's not talented. I think she's got talent, but she's what really landed her all these roles is she's an it girl. She was in Materialists, Kino Corner's
Cool.
#2 movie of the year.
That's fine. That's a Perry Pascal movie. Oh, that's great. Good for
Here we
you. I
go.
hope you got paid. I got
Segue.
paid a lot for that. Yeah. By the way, how do you feel about those three Pedro Pascal performances you saw in the theater? Do you
Let
feel
me
like he's
rank them
out
for
of a
you.
range?
No,
Do you feel like he's very
no.
different in every? Do you feel
Well,
like he should maybe shave his mustache so that he looks slightly different than the last character? Maybe at some point, maybe he just look a little. Hey, change your hair a little bit, Mark Wahlberg. No.
no. Listen, Eddington, he's good.
Yeah.
Materialist, he's good. The problem isn't that if he's good or bad. The problem is he's just there's too much, and his real personality is off-putting. So it's the combination of these two things. However, I will say with Fantastic Four, from this director, what's his name, Matt Snack
Oof.
Shack.
Shit. Okay.
Doesn't really
Hmm.
matter. Disney directed it.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
this movie, I kind of felt like he wasn't giving it his all. I kind of felt like for the first hour of the film, he's thinking more about the paycheck than being Mr. Fantastic, and that's not what he should be doing. Although it's a very low bar to be the best Mr. Fantastic in Fantastic Four film history. Because who is it? It's not Yoan Grufford. That dude got cast as Mr. Fantastic for 2 movies, and then what's his next role? P guy in Horrible Bosses. He shows up for a golden shower joke, and then he's off screen immediately.
Well, that was a weird pick to begin with, right? I don't think, like, I don't understand why he was cast as like the lead of that movie. Uh, Chris Evans wasn't really a star at that point. He was like the not another teen movie guy, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
understand that one. But what was his career before Fantastic Four? Was
I don't know.
like, let me see,
There's nothing there, and
because
he doesn't
that's
even have an
because
easy to pronounce name.
that's the one. Okay, so Michael Chiklis, right? You got the Shield, great show, very popular at the time. And I'm sure other TV movie roles that I
Mm-hmm.
can't think of right now.
He
So
was the
that's a
commish.
recognizable. You got Julian McMahon who played Victor Doom. That was a recognizable actor
He was
too.
on Nip Tuck at that time. So honestly, the only two stars of the movie are Jessica Alba and Julian McMahon
Mhm.
at that time, 2005. Nip Tuck is a top show on FX. Jessica Alba is at her peak hotness, or maybe a year or two after that. And then
Yeah,
Chris Evans, recognizable, but not really a star whatsoever. Not somebody who's well liked. Yoan Grufford, total nobody. Michael Chiklis, we know him from The Shield and from The Commish.
yeah. I'm looking at. I can't even say that name. Ewan
Yoan,
Grufford.
Grufford.
That's horrendous. That's a name that you should change if you go to Hollywood. What the fuck is that? He was in Black Hawk Down
Okay. Who
and
wasn't though? Everybody was in Black Hawk Down.
well, I'm looking at before Fantastic Four. He was um in King Arthur. He plays Lancelot, 2004, in
Okay.
that movie that no one saw, with starring the guy from fuck, what's his name? Clive Owen. That was King Arthur. Did you ever
He
see
could have
that?
been Mr. Fantastic. Were they going for Clive Owen and landed on Yoan Grufford?
Yeah, because after that movie, it's Fantastic Four. Before that, a movie called that This Girl's Life, The Gathering, Hornblower. That's a TV movie where he plays a character called Horatio Hornblower, and I have no fucking idea what that is, but sounds very
Cool.
British. Uh, uh, yeah, that's it. That's such a weird pick. Now that I mean, I thought of it at the time because he was the one that I didn't recognize, but now like 20 how what 20 years later, right? Yeah, 20
Mm-hmm.
22 years later, it's even weirder because everyone else kind of had a career after that, and this guy was doing Amazing Grace the year after, which is a movie.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we got him, and we've got the guy from the '94 Roger Corman Fantastic Four, who's in this movie. They
Oh, is
gave
he?
all the originals cameos, if I remember reading correctly. But they're all so old now.
Oh, did you go through that article or that video that was like 101 egg, what's it called? Whatever secrets of the movie or whatever. It's just a YouTube video with the Easter eggs.
No, no, no. Here's what happened is I went to the movies and then afterward I started watching the original Fantastic Four because I
Hell
was
yeah.
like, how does it? Because in my memory, we did an episode of Civic TV on the 1994 Fantastic Four, but in my memory, I'm like, that's the best Fantastic Four, even if it's corny
Yeah.
as hell
Mhm.
and the dialogue is bad and the things dubbing, voice acting is really
Yeah.
bad. It's still the best because
It's a
with
good
the
time.
Fantastic Four, you don't have to be cool, edgy, dark, slick. It's a goofy premise. The suits are goofy.
Hmm.
It can work that way, and it does work that way with the '94 one. But I was skipping around, and then somehow I stumbled upon the fact that the main actor plays one of the broadcasters in this movie. So that's how I came upon that. But here's something right off the bat. I have derailed Disney and Marvel so much that I felt like a hypocrite walking into the theater having paid for this movie. I sat down. I was like, I'm going to have to watch 7 Disney trailers, like Freaky Friday 2 and all this shit. That wasn't the case. In fact, I think they had like horror movie trailers before this, like an A24 horror movie, The Odyssey. Um,
You had an
not
Odyssey trailer?
Yeah, they did an Odyssey trailer before this, and I was like,
Ah,
they are acutely aware that the 10 to 15-year-old film goer really does not exist in the same way. It's all 30-year-old men showing up to the theater, 30-year-old men and their 30-year-old girlfriends who are paying for these tickets. Because I
I
thought,
thought.
okay, we'll get Lilo and Stitch before the movie. It's Disney. It's a very light Marvel character.
Bro,
Um,
but wasn't that premiered already? Like,
yeah, I
it's an
guess
old
so.
movie,
I don't
isn't
know.
it?
Listen, I don't keep up with the
W-
Disney shit.
We had Avatar, like the trailer for the
Oh
new
yeah, yeah,
Avatar
yeah.
movie.
Avatar was
Yeah.
the surprise. The trailers finished, and then they did their go to the lobby and get your big soda pop, and then usually the movie starts. Not this time. They did the Avatar trailer, and
It looks like an Avatar movie.
yeah, it does. I mean, there's nothing to say about it. It's just okay. Did you watch the
Well,
last Avatar? Cool. Then you might watch this Avatar, but not me.
well, that's what they are, right? Just like movie theater movies that you're never gonna see if you don't go see them in the theater. And I'm kind of upset that because I like James Cameron and I think he could be doing cool shit, and I don't like the fact that he's so deep into this universe of these mediocre movies that sure they're nice to look at, and when you're in the theater you're gonna have a good time for the two almost 3 hours that those movies are, but you're never gonna care or see them again. Uh, so I kind of wish that I don't know, maybe was putting his efforts into something else because I feel like he's when it comes to like blockbuster directors that are still working, he's probably one of the best, and I feel like it's being wasted in this universe that I mean, sure, it makes money, but at the end of the day, does anyone talk about Avatar after the movie comes out? Is this a film that's being talked about throughout the year, or is anyone really excited about the new one other than like, it feels like when Saw was putting out movies every year, where you're just like, oh, well, it's October, so we're getting our Saw movie. Now it's like, well, it's December, so I guess we're getting our Avatar movie. And that's kind of how I feel about them, you know?
You know, I think it would be one thing if he was like a Thomas Pynchon artist who has all these original concepts for stories and ideas. But the first Avatar movie we saw 100 times over. The second Avatar movie, I can't really speak to that. I did not watch Avatar 2. You did. I remember you like
Yeah.
rating it pretty high, as a matter of fact. But the James Cameron doesn't need to be a
No.
story oriented filmmaker if he's his real thing is he loves to innovate. He loves to come up with technologies to simplify the process or evolve special effects, whatever it might be. But I agree with you. For somebody like that to exist in this very one-off world, this avenue of filmmaking, it's kind of a shame because if his techniques were applied to things that were a little more original, it could really be something special. It could be something quite terrific, but you're not going to get that with these Avatar movies. They are theme park rides. And I don't
Yeah.
think he feels that way about them at all. It's clearly not for the money. Nobody sets out, nobody embarks on a 15-year filmmaking journey to do several sequels to Avatar. Some of these actors are probably going to be dead by the time even the next one comes out. I don't know. I think you really better know what you're doing. You really better have characters and a storyline that people respond to in a non superficial way.
And I don't think you have that here.
No,
I
you
think
don't. You get reliable film goers, I guess, but no.
yeah. Well, the CGI I think also disconnects you from caring about anyone other than, well, you care about the blue guy who has a ponytail now, I guess. That's cool. It's they're movie theater spectacles, and I honestly saw the second one, very pretty, amazing special effects, looks great on the screen. Didn't think about it a day after it because there's no depth to it. There's the story's very whatever. Like it all kind of feels like they put all the effort into the visuals, but then the story just kind of feels like a TV show that hasn't really worked out the kinks, or like hasn't really figured out what it is yet. So then you're sitting there looking at a beautiful 2.5 hour movie, but nothing about this movie really sticks with you afterwards. You're just kind of like, well, okay, I guess I'll come next year and watch the next one.
Hmm.
Which is kind of how I felt about those Saw movies too. Because yeah, I mean, I'll go see it in the theater. It will be really stupid, and they're going to try really hard to link it to the previous one. Because since Jigsaw died, right, they have to like link it to the previous one. So for those later Saw movies, I felt that way of like, okay, so I'm just gonna show up because it's October and it's scary month or whatever. But are you really thinking about those Saw movies a couple of days after you saw them? No,
No,
it's just
as a
like,
matter of
well, I'm
fact, I
just
blend most of the sequels in my
yeah,
head
same.
together.
hmm I've seen all of them. I couldn't tell you which death is in which one or like which character is in, especially when after Jigsaw where they all kind of mix and you have guys that kind of look like each other with like big heads, but you don't really know which one is which. I don't know. And I feel like with Avatar, sure. I mean, I'll probably show up to the theater to see this third one, but I don't think it's a movie that anyone really cares about, or a universe, or a series that is worth spending, 15 years or thinking about seven sequels, when the first two were kind of like, okay, yeah, they're
Yeah.
they're nice, but the lore is
Instead,
not that deep.
I
Yeah.
think what might be a better option is just spending 15 years on one movie, like Mass
Yeah.
State Lottery. Go see it, mslfilm.com. Tickets on sale now. Uh, well,
If you want a poster, by the way, there was people asking if posters are still available.
yeah, they
They
are.
are.
They are.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
one. This is actually not one of the ones in the shop. This was a defect from a different printer, and I didn't know what to do with it because I liked the image. It's my poster. Ordered some fish
Mm.
heads at 3 in the morning. Made the poster. Listen, we got to talk about one other movie before we really get into Fantastic Four, and that is Happy Gilmore 2. Do you want to do a show on Happy Gilmore 2? People are they're taking a real dump on this happy. Like, what do people forgot the type of movie that Adam Sandler actually makes. One good
Yeah.
movie can give people amnesia for
Mm.
almost a decade. Because Uncut Gems was what? That was like 2019, right? 2019. We're in 2025. 6 years. People forgot, they forgave, and they forgot.
Well, it's not a Sandler movie. People forget about that. Uncle James is not a Sandler movie. So him being an actor in that movie, he was going to try a lot more than he's going to try in his movies because his movies are just a paycheck for now. Is this on Netflix?
It is on
Happy Gilmore 2?
Netflix. Yep.
Yeah, so whenever people bring up Uncut Gems or what's the other one? Punch Drunk
Punch Drunk
Love?
Love is the other fan favorite
Yeah.
Criterion Paul
Yeah.
Thomas Anderson movie.
Whenever they bring them up, it's like, yeah, well, they had a director that directed him so that he would act, and he was actually acting. This is not a Netflix movie where who directed Happy Gilmore 2? Can you tell me without looking it up?
Of course I can. It's Kyle Newchak.
Oh, Workaholics guy? Well, good for him that he got a paycheck, I guess. But it's
Was he on
usually
Workaholics?
yeah, he was the director of the series, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
Kyle Newacek, yeah. And but did they? I don't even think they put out a movie. But he was the Workaholics guy that wasn't on the screen, so he was the director of everything. So good for him, I guess. I'm sure that paycheck was nice, but I don't know. I feel like this Netflix movies, like the lower Sandler, and I still don't get how people get excited about a sequel to a movie that came out 40. How many years? 30?
Sentimentality. It's actually, yeah, it's about 30 now.
You
The
you
first Happy
saw it, right?
Gilmore. Yeah, well, I didn't see the sequel, no.
You didn't? Okay.
No,
So why
I
are we
was
even
thinking
talking about
about it
that?
last night. I mean, we got to acknowledge because people have been talking about it. I think it's
Okay.
important that we do talk about Happy Gilmore too, because now this might enable a Billy Madison too.
Oh, great. Yeah. I downloaded it because I don't have Netflix. I can't bring myself to watching it. I feel like I haven't read anything that makes me want to watch it. I've
Well, it's
heard that
funny you
there's
mentioned
some.
it. I actually have a review here pulled up from Jacob A. Miller, the
Okay.
cinematologist, friend of the
Yeah.
show. I think, oh man, I'd really have to do an audit for who's the most appearances for movies, the podcast
Mm.
about the act of cinema, who the biggest guest star has been in terms
Probably
of
Jerry.
appearance number. It's either Jake or it's Jerry. There's a good chance also Simeon, Jimmy, and Eggy have gotten into the top three because we've just done so many shows with them.
Yeah.
But I think it's Jake, and he wrote on his letterbox, the cinematologist. If you want to go and follow, could have been the worst movie ever, and I would have loved it. The first half of the film is genuinely almost a perfect sequel to the original. That's big words to say about Happy Gilmore 2. I wouldn't even say that about The Dark Knight for Batman Begins. Almost a perfect sequel to the original.
What would be a perfect sequel to Happy Gilmore? I,
What the real thing should have been was he plays basketball or so you do it Airbud style, which they
Airbud's
announced.
coming back,
Yes,
by the
Airbud
way.
returns. Holy shit!
Hell yeah, we made it happen. Just another one, another movies thing where we talk about a movie and then a couple of days later, hey, we're reviving the series.
That one was
So
crazy. Honestly, though,
we brought
that was like so dormant and ready to just
yeah.
activate, but they're doing Airbud.
Nope. It's ours. We brought back Airbud. Even though the podcast episode hasn't come out yet.
Oh no, it's out. It
But
went
we
out. It went out
Oh, it
on
is?
Thursday. Yeah, we're keeping all the
Oh,
Superman
okay.
shows together.
All right. So we revived Airbud. So you're welcome. What is it? UFC now? What's happening?
Yes,
What is
Airbud's he's
Jiu-Jitsu Airbud?
BJJ. I don't know what they're
Hmm.
planning to do with that. I hope they get like an A-list cast that you would never expect for an Airbud movie. That's what would if they had Airbud with the amount of cameos that you have in Happy Gilmore 2, people will show up for the CG dog, the new CG dog.
So does that review from the cinematologist, does it make you want to watch the movie?
Well, I'm not done with it yet. You know, we got
Oh,
caught up
my
in
bad.
the perfect sequel to
Sorry.
the original concept here.
Mhm.
Takes some nice turns with Happy and puts him in a new underdog story that is actually somewhat compelling.
Okay.
All right. What could be the potential underdog story here? Prostate cancer.
Hmm. His daughter wants to turn trans, and he has to play golf to show her that having a vagina is okay. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure there's some, modern elements thrown in there. I don't know. Well, you know what? I was banned on Twitter again, so I couldn't reply, but I saw that someone uh, I feel like the For You page on Twitter is made to just piss me off because everything in that For You page is just very it's just people that I would never want to follow and just very uninteresting, just with really retarded takes. But someone, I wish I could remember who it was like, oh, Happy Gilmore 2 is the most based Adam Sandler movie because he has a family and he doesn't let his children transition or whatever. It's just like, dude, how desperate are you for a win
Yeah,
that you're looking for
he has a
Happy
family in every
Gilmore to have a
movie. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. How many trans children has Adam Sandler had in his movies?
I don't
I,
want to do an audit. I thought I remember reading Sydney Sweeney was going to play his daughter in this movie.
uh,
She's
I
nowhere
don't
to
know,
be
but I
found.
there was a like a thread of like 10 posts saying that this movie was really based because there's no diversity and there's no forced anything. And it's just like, okay, so I guess
There's no
it's good
Bad
then.
Bunny is one of the stars of the movie. What are they talking about? No diversity.
Yeah, I don't know. I again, like I told you, I'm very against sequels that come out 30 years after the original, especially if it's a comedy, because can't really make the same jokes now that you did before. Uh,
Also,
but at
if
the
you're
same
somebody
time,
like Adam Sandler, your personality and your comedy personality or persona evolves with time. And he quickly dropped the mischievous, like smart mouth
ooh,
schoolboy thing.
ooh, the little ooh
Yeah,
character.
that was
Yeah.
done and over with. Not like he quit that in the '90s. I feel like by the time you
Yeah.
even get to Wedding Singer, it's more he's responding to things going on around him.
Well, after SNL, he kind of dropped that, right?
Well,
When he became a
it was
movie
Billy
star.
Madison, Happy Gilmore, and then he dropped it.
Yeah. Yeah, just those two. And the fact that he did that Netflix movie that I also never saw, what's it called? The basketball movie, where he's a real actor in it, right?
Mhm.
Kind of makes you think that he at some point wanted to step away from this uh golden goose that he has with Netflix. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, it's an Adam Sandler Netflix movie. Like you have to set your standards a little lower that you would expect for a regular movie because I feel like the only Netflix Adam Sandler movie I've seen is the one that he has with Jennifer Aniston about like a yacht with like rich people.
Uh,
It, it,
I don't know.
it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. I I downloaded it. I'm not really
Can we watch a clip
ex
real quick from Happy Gilmore too? Just go to
sure.
how about this?
Yeah.
Go to 1 hour and 13 minutes in. If the
Oh,
movie's even that long, it might not be that long.
I don't have it in this computer, so I can't do that.
Well, there goes
Yeah.
that bit. You know what? Why don't we talk about fantastic? I didn't even
Pre
finish reading his review here.
plan this. My bad. Go on. Yeah.
There's surely a joke as well somewhere in there that Sydney Sweeney's tits got in the way of her playing trans for this Happy Gilmore sequel. The second half of the film seems like Netflix stepped in and wrote in as many callbacks as possible and implemented a mega golf league subplot that's entirely unnecessary. I highly doubt Netflix was giving Adam Sandler notes, but we'll
Yeah.
see. A mixed bag that I am totally okay with having happened. I haven't heard people calling this a mixed bag. People have been calling it a big pile of shit.
Jerry calls it
Jerry
that, right?
thinks it's an abomination. They shouldn't make comedy movies anymore because he watched it.
I'm a little curious. I'm gonna be honest with you, but I don't know. Should we do an episode on it?
I
I mean,
think if we watch it, and I will watch it at some point this week, and it stirs any sort of emotion at all besides boredom, then yeah,
because I feel like we're doing an episode of Fantastic Four. We're barely talking about it because
we've
it's so
talked more about a
boring.
movie we haven't seen than
Exactly,
Fantastic Four, which we paid to see.
because Fantastic Four is so whatever. It's such a whatever movie.
But
I
hold
feel
on.
like
It is. Here's
yeah,
the thing.
yeah.
Fantastic Four first steps. They don't
Mhm.
trot out. I forgot Miles Teller was also Mr. Fantastic. Well, I completely
Yep.
glossed over the 2015 Fantastic Four, which has a
Everyone did.
very
Everyone
interesting
does.
aesthetic for the first hour. And then once they fire Josh Trank and bring in some nobody from Fox to reroute it into feeling Marvel-y, that's when it turns into a big pile of shit. This movie, Fantastic Four: First Steps. It's more. I said this in my written review. The list of things that it
Mm.
does. What did I say? I gotta read it before I fuck up my own words and say something
Oh,
stupid here.
by the way, I want to bring up the fact that Josh Trank has done shit after this movie other than whining and complaining. So that's where he's
We
at. He
we
still
we
has not
did
moved
our
on.
bad mouthing of Josh Trank on the last show. The list of things it did right might be smaller than the list of
Okay.
things it didn't do wrong. But for a
Mhm.
modern day Disney film, I consider it passable, and that's exactly still how I feel about Fantastic Four. I showed up to the movies. I knew I was getting a Fantastic Four movie. I did get a Fantastic Four movie. There was some, honestly, very hit and miss CG in this movie. I'm thinking specifically the thing when he's talking to Natasha Leone.
Leon, yeah, who's a weird pick for a
That romance also goes nowhere. I guess he
awful. Yeah.
realizes during the end of days she's a lesbian, so that ain't
Yeah, he's
happening.
like my rock penis will destroy her too. So like why is there a romance there? I don't
I'm only
weird.
familiar. Well, how about we start with this? What's
Mm.
your history with the Fantastic Four outside of movies? Did you ever read the
Uh,
Fantastic Four comics or the TV show
n-
or anything?
The cartoon from the 90s, I was a big fan of. I also used to watch the 60s cartoons
Oh
where
yeah.
the animation wasn't even animated. It was just a lot of like this panel just kind of moves and then
Mm-hmm.
the narrator says what's happening and they just kind of move but there's not much animation. I used to love those things. I
That
used to
that
watch them
was that's
before
kind of
school.
mind blowing in retrospect that nobody ever questioned that. Nobody as I mean, you're dealing with little kids, right? But I feel like
Yeah.
even anime still today gets away with doing that exact same thing of we're gonna move everything without actually moving it. We're just gonna slide it back and forth really.
Well, I feel like either Marvel or DC were doing that a couple of years ago where they would put out motion comics, right?
Yeah.
And the motion comic was literally just the panel moving so that you can read it better, which is, just lazy.
Mm-hmm.
But my introduction to Fantastic Four was that old ass cartoon, and then the cartoon on the late 90s where they gave the thing like a bowl cut. I don't know if you remember. He had kind of
No.
like a weird bowl cut.
Can
Yeah,
we pull up a
let me look
picture
it
of
up.
this?
Yeah.
My history with Fantastic Four, I was aware there was a cartoon because I would watch the Spider-Man animated series on Fox. That was back in the 90s. But I actually my introduction to them was I think the Human Torch pops up in a Spider-Man comic from the 60s. I used to collect 1960s Spider-Man comic books when I was in my early teens, like age 10 to age 14, 15. And I wound up also getting an older issue from that time period where I found it recently. There's a little, it's like the Fantastic Four are on an adventure, and one of the panels, one of the things that's supposed to entice the reader is Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, has gone off to college, and they say, and updates from Johnny at college. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
Well, I guess he wasn't a bowl cut. It was just his
no,
eyebrows.
he looks like
But it,
Toad from Mario.
yeah.
Okay.
This was when they were doing the Iron Man cartoon
Yep.
with Mandarin. Yeah. That was cool. That was a cool like was that Fox Kids?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They did their own shared universe. I remember Blade pops up, the Punisher pops up on Spider Man. Even though they
Yeah.
can't shoot
Oh,
guns, they
Spider-Man.
all have lasers.
Yeah, that I mean, but that's my story with it. Other than like what when we recorded, or when we saw the original 1994 Fantastic Four on Civic TV, which I still feel is the best Fantastic Four movie after watching this, just because I had more fun with that one.
Yeah.
This one, it just feels like a very like there's just not much there, like so the movie, like the whole movie is just based on the relationship between the four of them, right? Because everything else just kind of feels second nature to that. But then there's also not that much that happens between the four of them. Like they're all kind of doing their own thing and trying to figure out how to fix the issue that's happening in their own way. But then the individual things that you have them do don't really go anywhere. So you have the thing uh getting this girl flirting with him, and then he grows a beard and shows up to her reading or whatever the fuck, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just here for you." And I guess that's the depth of that relationship, because that's the only interaction they have other than
There's
when
no
she tells
resolve.
him to
It
come.
doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
We're never told like, oh, he wound up with her or anything. It's just he's
No, she
pursuing the
just
girl.
well, she smiles, so I guess that means that she approves, right? That's as deep as we go. When it comes to Sue and Mr. Fantastic, I mean, sure, they love each other, and
They have way
I don't
more
like that.
chemistry outside of the movie than in the movie. And I
It's
think,
weird.
honestly, I'm starting to come around to this idea that Pedro Pascal is actually just a gay guy.
Yeah, with all his face touching and
I thought
beard.
at first it was him doing like the queer baiting where he's wearing the big baggy pants, recreating the Harrison Ford picture and painting his nails and doing all this. I mean, because honestly, I'm almost done with Vanderpump Rules. Even the guys who are straight on that show, they all look and act gay. In California, your average dude just seems extremely gay, even when he's not
A-
gay.
Am I gonna see you with painted nails when I
Fuck
come up to
no, no,
Boston this year?
absolutely. I will cut my fingers off before paint touches them. Okay, no, it's the
I
most
had a I
repulsive
had a
thing in the world.
I had a face like that at 19, so let me tell you.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Well, you also had the
this,
like the snake bites.
yeah, the lip ring, yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's something you
And
and Kenny have in common.
and also the worst part is that I'm very like my pulse is very shaky. So my whenever I would I think I painted my nails like twice, and it was just all cuticles. Like it just looked like shit because I don't have the finesse to like paint them properly. So it just looked like, you know, a 20-year-old fat boy with painted nails, which appeals to literally
Nobody,
nobody.
literally nobody finds that appealing. Nobody thinks that's hot. Nobody thinks that's cool.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's the worst
Yeah.
thing. Um,
Yep.
but anyway, Fantastic Four. I like the casting choices here,
Hmm.
except Pedro. I mean, Pedro, I didn't feel like he was a weight on the movie or anything, but there are just there's so many better choices you could have gone down the list of. But I do like that they cast an older guy for Fantastic.
Hmm.
Vanessa Kirby's good. I think
Yeah.
what's his name from Stranger Things, who was in Gladiator 2.
Yeah. I
He's not
know
a
his name,
bad
but he's
pick
good.
for Human
He's all right.
Torch. Yeah. They don't really
He looks
give
a
him
little
much.
he looks a little older than I would want Johnny to look,
Yeah, how about the
it
94
works.
one where he's 18, but he's actually a 45-year-old guy? He looks like a
Uh,
pedophile meeting a child at the mall.
it works with the retro futuristic thing, I think, but I don't know. I think learning that he was like 38 in Stranger Things kind of put me off from like him playing young guy.
Joseph Quinn.
So-
Yeah.
yeah. And I mean that's or is that him, or is that the other Stranger Things guy
Well,
that's with
they
the
would
square head?
move him in and out. They would bring in a new, edgy, angsty young man, kill him off, bring in the next one for the following season. I think you're thinking
But
of
the guy
him,
with
though.
yeah, I'm thinking of the guy. Yeah, because he's only 31, so he's not that old. But the guy
No,
with the square head, what's his name?
he had a mullet. He was like a rocker guy, right? He was the older brother of the redhead girl.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know why Stranger Things square head guy is not coming up with any on Google. Oh yeah, it is. Okay, Wyatt. Wyatt.
Wyatt.
Uh, is that his character name?
I don't think so. Well,
Ye-
what do you? How about this?
Oh no, that's not. Never
I
mind.
think one of the strongest aspects of this movie, it makes it tolerable, is the fact that it takes place in the 1960s and they don't time jump. I thought they were setting that up. I thought we were going to get, I thought it was going to go full Marvel and we were going to get, oh no, now we're in the Spider Man universe. Now we're in that universe. And it's the
Yeah,
modern day. I thought they were going in that direction. I was like, all right, I'll stay for the two end credit scenes too. And I will give you the opportunity to not do that. And they didn't do that. So listen, I can't complain about this movie. It's in its own lane. It exists in its own world. I kind of want, it made me want to see Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. I was thinking, is he going to cameo in this movie?
The post credit scene.
Where they
Yeah,
couldn't get him, but they got somebody to wear a green
yeah.
cloak.
I ended up I only saw the first one. I don't even know what happened to the second one. But I'm gonna be honest with you, that is the one thing that I liked about this movie, the aesthetic, how everything just was retro future like 60s but futuristic.
Yes, yeah.
Even the suits that were just like turtlenecked sweaters pretty much. I was like, okay, they kind of do fit in this whole theme. You have the what's the American TV show where the Beatles showed up in the 60s that
Ed
made
Sullivan.
Ed Sullivan, that you have the Ed Sullivan element here a couple of
Yeah.
times, right? So I enjoyed the aesthetics and the fact that it's set in the past in like a retro futuristic way. That's probably the one thing that I liked about the movie, and that kind of sucks to say, but everything else just kind of felt like
Well,
whatever.
they
Like
they didn't
I
do it bad. I mean, we know what it looks like when it's done poorly, thanks to Netflix. Netflix will usher out this
oh, yeah.
completely void of any shadows, or it's just you're going to see every crevice of everything everywhere, and half of it or three-quarters of it are going to be digital, and we'll have people dressed up like you would think would be found in a 60s book, except it's not going to look or feel like that at all. This movie does it well enough. This movie, I think, manages to pull it off, and it made me, I couldn't help but make the comparisons to Superman. And I started thinking, do you know how fun that Superman movie would have been if it followed a more traditional
Mm.
structure and was set in the past, if it was set in the 50s, 60s, or 70s?
Let me ask you something to see if you're the same type of autist that I am, because my autism throughout the movie was just thinking, oh man, I really need to get some cool screens in my room. Like the whole time I was like, oh, a round screen? That looks kind of cool. I kind of want to get that in my room. You know what I
Not
mean? Like
once.
no. Okay, so we're different type of autists. Cause like the whole mansion, I was like, this is so cool. I love all the retro 60s shit, but at the same time, like whenever I watch a movie like Boogie Nights, I'm always kind of like, oh man, I want to live in that house just because it's like very 60s and very retro and very cool. Honestly, I don't think there's much depth to this movie. You have the same thing that every Marvel movie has, where like the stakes don't really matter. And when you have the big event at the end of the movie, just like every other Marvel movie, like you know that none of your main characters are going to die. So when you have the 10-minute sequence where we're pretending to care about them dying, you know they're coming back, you know. I kind of wish that they didn't use Galactus for this, because I feel like you could do a lot more than what you did with this character in this movie, which is just play like a large oaf that doesn't really think much and is
Mm.
just like a large entity, which I mean, fair enough, but I don't know. I feel like sure, it's a Fantastic Four movie, so you want to put your biggest villain in the first one, but I just don't think they used him properly. I think the resolution is expected, especially when the baby saves her. You know that's coming. You know she's not dead. You know that something is gonna. And then when the baby like touches her, you're just like, all right, it's a Marvel movie. No one's actually going to fucking die. So like, I'm not gonna have any type of emotional investment in
Right.
this. But at least it looked cool. Cool. And again, I just go back to, I'm never gonna watch this again. I don't think unless we do an episode in like 10 years or whatever to check what Marvel is doing. But there was enough with the aesthetics here where I was engaged. But honestly, the story, who cares?
Four
The
screenwriters
threat,
to come up with this film's, I mean, honestly, you know how it works in Hollywood. I'm not being
yeah.
fair. I'm kind of
Mhm.
being disingenuous by saying that. So I'll revoke that. But to have Mr. Fantastic for his go-to move to be, hey, you know what we'll do? Again, he's a scientist. He's one of the most brilliant men in the world. His
Yep.
go-to move is we'll just move the Earth into a new solar system. What's the worst that could happen if we do that? Um, Like if the Earth moved even just like a
Yeah.
tiny fraction, we're done. We're killed. We're scorched or something, you know? And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
but also Mr. Fantastic, it took him like 85 minutes to use his elastic powers.
Mhm.
Well, you hardly get to see it. He's when he does use it, he looks like Spider-Man. He's going jumping
Yeah.
from
And
buildings.
then he gets humiliated by how he gets stretched and almost killed
Oh, I
by
love that actually. I thought that was terrific when he
yeah.
was getting stretched. I wish that would happen to Pedro for real, honestly. To see him just getting ground up, I was like, why haven't they done this before? Why has nobody thought of this idea? This is fun. Galactus as a villain, kind of interesting, I guess. I wish he wasn't CG. You didn't need a CG mouth for the dude. He could have just been like a Godzilla King Kong costume. They got Finchy from The Office to play Galactus.
Well, it's weird because at the beginning of the story when you're introduced to the Silver Surfer character, you feel like this Galactus character will be a lot bigger and be more of a threat that he actually is. But when you bring this character into Earth and he's just walking in the ocean and making waves cover New York or whatever, how is this that much different from like a Godzilla character? You know, there how is this much different than just he's just large, and I think the Galactus character was brought down to pretty much isn't this guy big? And we're gonna outsmart him by making a line on the ground, and when he crosses that line, we'll get him, which feels like a great plan if you're dealing with a retard. You know what I mean? Like that like that's the
Yeah,
thing, and it
yeah.
goes back to just Marvel, where the villains are very dumb and the resolution of the movie is very okay, so we're just gonna suspend disbelief with the fact that Galactus has eaten many planets, but I guess no planet has ever set up a trap for him like the Fantastic Four just did, where if you walk past that line, then you're fucked. And that to me was kind of like, oh, okay, well, kind of a waste for a character that's that important, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. I think if there was another opportunity to, I mean, shoving Galactus and the Silver Surfer in here, it feels like a little too much for an introduction. And
Yeah.
obviously, it's shaped like this isn't the first time you're seeing these, which Superman tried to do and failed at. This movie does it a little bit better because you're not too far off the reservation of what you expect of these characters. And I was wondering, I was like, didn't wasn't this the whole plot of the second Fantastic Four movie that Fox did back in 2007 or 8? Because I
Kind
remember
of, yeah.
Galactus was a cloud in that movie, and they had
Yeah.
Lawrence Fishburne doing the voice of Silver Surfer. What'd you think of the woke, the dreaded woke Silver Surfer?
I just kind of wish that they did more with her. She she has an emotional arc with the Human Torch where all he does is just kind of say like, "Hey, you save your planet. Can't you relate to me wanting to save my planet?" And then she's like, "You know what? Oh fuck, I've never thought of that before. Let me attack the guy that I'm serving forever so that you guys can save your planet." What?
Yeah,
What
listen,
the
the
fuck?
writing in the story is not the best, but it doesn't feel like. Here's the thing: it doesn't feel like a stupid person wrote it. It feels like there was more, and then they chopped away, and this is what you
Wait.
got. And that the reason why I think that is because of things like the Ben Grimm, Natasha Lyonne storyline romance that doesn't go anywhere. There's nothing where you go, oh, well, he wound up with her. No, it just peters off
No.
because who cares? So you have that, and then
Well, he.
also John Malkovich was supposed to be in this movie, and no, he's
That's
not.
what.
I don't know.
That's like a what?
I saw his face in one of the trailers, and he was listed on the posters, and then they cut him out at the last minute.
Huh. Well, the Natasha Lyonne thing is weird to me because the only thing that happens in that relationship is that at first he does not have a rock beard, And then he shows up with a rug beard, and she's like, "You look cool." And that's it. That's how deep as that relationship goes, you know? So it's just like, what is the point? I mean, I understand that you want to have Ben Grimm do something while the Human Torch is trying to figure out this Latin message that the Silver Surfer told him. But at the same time, it's like, can you give me any type of resolution to this? Or is like the resolution just that he showed up one day and she was like, "Oh, I notice you." And that's it. Like that's the end of the relationship, right? So like why even include that? I don't
I don't know.
like who cares?
I have no idea. Again, I think they had a much bigger story. They had a much more fleshed out movie, and they cut away. Yeah, Paul
Well,
Walter Hauser, by the way, we didn't talk about
oh,
how he
yeah.
plays the Mole Man in this film.
Awful.
You're not a fan?
Terrible. No, terrible. I
I,
hated
I
it.
liked him in
I
the
hate
movie. What was your
I
grievance with him?
I liked him because he was like a comic relief to the whole thing and he removed some of the we're supposed to be taking this seriously, right, with his attitude, but I just don't think his character really matter that much, you know? So like them trying to throw that storyline as to like, well, you know, we don't really respect you and you're kind of a piece of shit that lives on the ground or whatever, but we kind of need you at this point. Uh there was no weight put into that other than well, now the citizens are underground and oh, the earth is shaking. Isn't that scary? You're in a bus and the earth shakes,
Well,
right?
I thought it was an interesting idea of how to use the Mole Man. Is he is the uh, governor creator of Subterranea, and then they have to shove everybody because they all abide by this rule now of
Yeah.
you can't have casualties, you can't have people get hurt when the city is getting destroyed. That we've talked about on many of these Superman episodes. I
But
liked that he came into play as well. We need to make an agreement with you. You're going to keep these people down here. Here's what I think they should have done. He agrees to that, and you know how at the very end they're rushed out of the TV studio because there's an emergency, and then they
yeah.
do like you got to find the seatbelt bit because it's an old car, and you got to dig around into a little piece to pull the seatbelt out. I thought,
Yeah.
wouldn't it be great if the emergency was he's holding them all captive down there and he won't let them go and he wants to just hold on to his population for good, and that's what there's your little fun sequel tease.
Well, give me something, right? So you have this character that could become important in a future movie, but I feel like by casting a fat guy that's just very aloof, very whatever, you kind of remove you remove the threat as to what he could do, and then he just you kind of
It's
forget
Paul
about him.
Giamatti in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, you forget about him. So like the couple because you only have I think two or three scenes with him where he interacts with the Fantastic Four. I think the second one is when he actually shows that okay, he can help them, so he actually matters. But then after we focus so much on the Galactus character, then we completely forget about humans. Like that's not a factor that matters at all for the last 20 minutes. You know, as soon as we forget that, well, buses went there and the Earth is kind of moving, we forget that that's a factor at all, and then it doesn't become a factor for the rest of the movie because we need to resolve the issue, right? So I, it's difficult because I kind of like what they did with him. I just kind of wish that they used the character a little bit different so that it didn't just feel like a cartoon. Well, it's a fat guy that has a lot of attitude,
Would you have
and
preferred him
it's
be the jeweler, the anti-Semitic leprechaun who lives in the sewer and constantly steals jewelry?
I, I mean I like this role. I like the mole man. I like the fact that you can use an underground world there, and that could be a you know something that you use in future movies. It just doesn't feel like they really wanted to do much with it other than this is a character that you recognize from the comics if you like the comics, and he's going to be a part of this. But he's comedy relief when he shows up because he's very aloof and very nonchalant and very not taking anything seriously until he's underground, and then all of a sudden he's like pressed, but then we forget about them.
Mhm.
So
I
then
mean,
it's
the Mole
like,
Man's a tough character unless you're doing a Danny DeVito Penguin Mole Man, and this is not the movie for that.
no.
Then you can only execute him so many ways where it's not going to feel goofy with his. I mean, you look at the comic book character; he's a man in like a green uniform with a very thin
Square
raccoon
glasses.
mask. Yeah,
Yeah.
with the glasses, and he's porky.
Which is fine. I mean, I think he looked like the character. I just,
What is it? What do you know? What his thing is? Like all these
no.
supervillains have one story where it's like that's why they're so important to the Fantastic. Why they're so like Joker's is oh well, he's the arch nemesis of Batman. He got dumped into a vat of chemicals. He shot Batgirl. He killed Robin. He did all this bad stuff. Catwoman. She fucks Batman.
BPD, right. But
Yes.
but I guess I don't know, Sue rejected him.
Oh, that's what that was.
I
Okay.
guess. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of what I get from here, right? Because she's the only one that interacts with him. When he shows up, she's the one that talks to him, right?
Oh wait, isn't
So
that the
there's
thing with I feel like in the 94, the jeweler kidnaps, is it Sue or
Sue.
kidnaps Alicia, the blind woman that the thing wants? Like, he's very horny. He needs women.
Well, he lives on the floor. He lives on the ground, you know? What kind of woman do you think he's getting that? This is just this pristine white blonde woman.
Yeah, the closest thing is what? Like pregnant rats.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I it felt like uh a nod to comic book fans, but at the same time, you don't really you do the Marvel thing, right? Where it's like, hey, here's a nod to something that you might recognize, but he doesn't actually matter to the rest of the story. It's just for you to be like, oh my God, can you believe that the guy's in this movie? And that's as deep as it
I
goes,
think
you
that's
know.
what
That's
John
kind of
Malkovich was supposed to be as well. He was going to be cast as one of these villains and used in a comedic way, then
yeah.
quickly ushered out, which he hasn't gotten anything good lately, huh? I watched Opus months ago, and that was not it. That was another one that was just kind of corny and bad. I
Oh
was not a
fuck.
fan.
Has he moved to the Russian film?
Yep. Yeah, actually,
Damn.
Jake told me that he knew a guy because he was friends with a dude who would distribute those movies. They picked up a random indie film and they were like, "Yeah, this. We can sell this. So the one thing we'll need to do though is you're gonna have to go shoot a new scene, and we'll put John Malkovich in that scene, and then we'll make 7 times as much money in the foreign market,
Mm.
and you can pocket half of that. John Malkovich will obviously have to be paid a sum of
Yeah.
that, and then the rest goes to us." And then they did that.
So he's gotten to that Bruce Willis before dementia point.
He's
That's
doing it
gonna
in a more sly way, but yeah, he's in that ghetto.
that's sad. But at the same time, it's like unfortunately the industry has moved so far away from creepy creepy older actors that kind of look creepy on everything. So I guess like what are you yeah, that's tough.
You're
I
saying
mean
he
you would
hit the
expect
wall? John Malkovich hit the wall?
yeah, it's 70. I think I mean you would expect that he's had enough of a successful career where he doesn't need to do this. But then you don't really know how many wives he has and
Yeah.
children that
you know,
you know
you,
what I
you
mean?
can't, you could never think like that, that somebody's got enough money, except like Elon Musk, who's going to be the first trillionaire or something. You can't ever
Mhm.
assume, oh man, he was in Empire of the Sun. He's set for life. Because none of these actors really get residuals anymore. They figured out so many loopholes. Warner Brothers decided we're going to lease all our movies to Tubi so we don't have to pay any of these people their residual checks. They do things like that. And then also, just because you're an actor doesn't mean you're good with money. Just because you can afford a good accountant and, person to look after your funds doesn't mean that's going to be the case. John Malkovich might have like a big sweet tooth and spend thousands of dollars a week on candies. He might be a lollipop boy for all we know. I don't know.
Yeah.
So you got to
Latino,
sustain the
Latino,
lifestyle you earn.
Latino boy candy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
I
could be
hear
like
you.
William Friedkin.
Yeah,
He's got to pay somebody's
he just
salary to
needs
come
this.
take care of him. He is an older man after all.
He just needs an assistant to, quit every week. Because you're asking him to do things that he's not supposed to do. It's sad, but I think it's just like, unfortunately, it seems to be how most actors that we remember from the 90s and 80s are gonna end up, just because
Yeah.
of how much the industry has changed. And unfortunately, people like us are unwilling to pay them $5,000 to do a line or two on a movie because fuck you. So go to Russia, I guess, and pretend you're doing action films when you're sitting the whole time. Good for good for you, I guess. Yeah, I get it's sad, especially when you look at his uh body of work. But
Very talented guy. One of the
yeah,
best parts of Con Air, classic Simon West, Nicolas Cage movie. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he'll come into Fantastic Four second steps. We'll find out. I kind of hate knowing that they're not going to do just like a straightforward sequel. You got to go see the Avengers Doomsday. Which I honestly I was going to do it. I'm kind of
yeah,
coming right back around to Disney. It was Deadpool and Wolverine last year. This year it's Fantastic Four. This one wasn't as fun as Deadpool and Wolverine. I still enjoyed it. I don't know, but I don't like that it's going to be go see Avengers now. And oh hey, because you went to go see Avengers, you're in the theater for Avengers. Guess what? Half of the shit ain't going to make any sense at all to you. So you got to go watch
yeah,
those now to understand in retrospect. And now we'll do the Fantastic Four too. And guess what? Nothing special here. It's in fact going to
yeah,
be worse and more Marvel formula than what you wanted.
yeah. Go watch Loki season 3 and the Fantastic Four season, Reed Richards season 1 to understand what happens on the next. Yeah,
Mm.
uh, it's really tough because I just saw Superman a week before and I hated that shit. And I saw this Marvel movie where it looks like this is what they're going to use as a what's the word I'm looking for? The guideline for the rest of the Marvel universe. And let me be honest with you, I could not give less of a fuck about whatever the fuck they're doing next. There's nothing about this movie that makes me excited about, especially when they said that the Mr. Fantastic is going to be the lead on the next Avengers movie. So they're using him as like the new Iron Man. I just don't think he's got enough personality or enough on that character for me to care as much as I did on the original Avengers movie. And it,
Mr.
it feels
Fantastic was
like
not an Avenger.
they're just putting the eggs, all their 20 eggs in the wrong basket once again, just because this seems to have been successful, right?
I'll here's the
And
thing. I don't know if I'll agree with that if they decide to make more like this or like Deadpool and Wolverine where it's like you have your
just
set
like
Marvel
disconnected.
universe, right? Just leave it be.
Mhm.
Just let it sit for a while. Come back to it later. Forget about WandaVision or whatever the hell you were planning, another Black Panther movie without the Black Panther, Ironheart. Just fucking forget all that. Just leave it alone. Do another Fantastic Four, all isolated to this universe. Go make a new X-Men movie. Go call up Bryan Singer and see what he's doing. Talk to him. Get him back in the mix. Hugh Jackman, feed
Get
him
him,
some new TRT. Fuck it. Why not?
yeah, convince Bryan Singer to leave Jerusalem,
He
so.
can't. He's afraid. He's definitely petrified. He's probably in one of those bomb shelter bunkers. Have you seen the gay Jewish men hiding out in
Yep.
there, enjoying
Hmm.
themselves?
Yeah, hope no one's tweets about him. Hope no one's
People have
remembers that
forgotten. Hey, if Kevin Spacey can come
yeah.
back, Brian, you're
I
up
mean,
next.
Yeah, I honestly like the one thing that this movie left me with is that okay, I kind of wish that they were brave enough to just make uh so you have a 1960s Fantastic Four. Let me have a 1980s Luke Cage and Iron Fist movie where it's very
Whoa.
gritty, right? And let me just in the next decade we're whatever 90s character, and then we'll do them. You know, if they were doing something like that, perfect, great. I don't trust
No,
Kevin
no, no.
Feige or whatever to even think about something like this. I think this well, right now, let me see. Worldwide, it has 218 million, which is not amazing, but it just, I
No,
mean,
both
it
this movie and
premiered
Superman
last week.
are like riding the line basically of success.
Right. So if there was a sequel, a Fantastic Four sequel, where it's still based in the 60s, 70s, maybe okay, let's say the 70s, they're a little bit older or whatever. I think I will be more interested in that than an Avengers that led by this Reed Richards, where like what other characters are you gonna bring into this other than
All of
a
them. Didn't you
Doctor
see the cast lineup? It's all of them.
but it's a Doctor
Except
Doom that I already don't give a fuck about because I love the Doctor Doom character. I hate the fact that they're using him as a Doctor Doom
I
character because
like that
he's
they're using him. I could
you
see it.
do
We're
okay.
split down the center on this one as
Yeah.
opposites because
Yeah.
here's why. I can divorce because I've sat out of all of that Marvel bullshit. I can
Yeah.
divorce Robert Downey Jr. from everything that followed the original Iron Man, and I can just look at it the same way you would look at Chris Evans playing Human Torch in Captain
Yeah.
America. Obviously, we get a good feeling that they're not going to leave it to that. They're going to do something. They're going to do a nod to like, oh, he's actually a variant of Tony Stark or some shit, right? But I have this not even I'm expecting the worst, but I have like a little slight tiny micro ball of optimism that they just like go, yeah, he's just Victor Von Doom. And you probably won't even see his face for most of it, right? He's mostly a voice. So Robert Downey Jr., he's got terrific acting chops. I hope they don't do anything stupid with it. Do I believe they will? Probably,
Yes.
you
Hmm.
know. But I like that they at least have a talented actor, you know. I can forget about all of that junk because it's worthless at the end of the day. I think the three Iron Man movies are probably watchable if you can not find how damaging those are to the film industry and to Marvel grading when you tune in, which has happened to me watching the first Iron Man movie back. But I like Iron Man 3. Shane Black's writing and quippy shit. I don't mind that.
Uh, I think they were watchable in 2006. I don't know how great they hold
They
up.
were watchable in
Uh,
2006 before any of them came out. That's
when
correct.
they come out? When they
It was it
when they
was
come out?
2008,
Oh,
2010 and 2013.
whatever, 2006. I saw them all in the theater. I still didn't care much about the Iron Man character, but I understand. I
The
I
problem
just
is
don't care. I don't
to what
care.
you were saying before, the idea of an Iron Fist movie set in the 80s or something. Then I want Daredevil in the 80s and I want the Frank Miller Daredevil. Then
Well, yeah.
I want to see these different like 90s Spider-Man. I want to see 60s Spider-Man. I want to see but I don't want it through the
Kevin
Disney
Feige.
Marvel right wormhole
Well,
of we're going to
because
hire anybody.
you are getting that, right? You're
Yep.
getting Spider-Man Noir starring Nicolas
Well,
Cage.
the Spider-Man spin-off stuff, I'm actually more interested in because Sony is like, nah, this is our character. We license
Okay.
it to you, and Marvel feels entitled to the Spider-Man shit. Honestly, the worst Spider-Man stuff is the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies.
Were you a fan of the Venom movies?
I thought the first one was fun. The second one
The
sucked. We watched that
yeah.
when we shot Mass State Lottery. I was like, damn, I like Stephen Graham. Carnage is my favorite Spider-Man bad guy. This was horrible. And then the third
Yeah.
one, I don't know if I watched it or not. I can't remember.
There's a there's a third one?
Yeah,
Is there
Venom from
Venom?
2018. You have Tom Hardy. You have Eminem singing Venom as the theme song over the movie. It's
I
fun. That was a fun time. I felt like I was watching a '90s movie, and it had nothing
Oh
to do
fuck.
with Marvel.
Wait, is that Venom the one where he fights another Venom in like a
That's
boat?
all of them.
Fair enough. Okay. Well,
They
Maybe
never
I've
have
seen it.
Spider-Man come in. They've teased Venom at the end of the third Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. He's at a
Oh yeah.
bar, and it's like completely has nothing to do with it. They just want to figure out a way to include him on the cast sheet.
That Venom is definitely not coming over to the Avengers. Let me
That would be terrific. I would love that. They did their roll call of all the actors returning. You're getting people from the Fox X-Men movies. You're getting some random ones from
This
wherever.
just, but that just rings as Mr. Fantastic. No, not fucking Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
Where it was like, oh my God, we're getting Jim from The Office finally as Mr. Fantastic that everyone asked for 10 years ago. No one did. And then we get, Gina Carano as that girl. I don't think we got her. Did we get her?
As what?
What's this?
When you said
Oh man,
Gina Carano,
I
I
don't know.
imagine
I'm
Janine
just thinking.
Garofalo as the Invisible Woman.
I'm just thinking muscular girl that played some character. I don't know. I wish I could remember that Sam Raimi movie, but that's the one Sam Raimi movie I've seen once and was like, I hate this. So I don't really remember who else was there, but the whole we're doing the thing that the internet wants us to do just kind of reminds me of that movie, and that movie was a fucking mess.
Hmm.
So I have zero faith on Marvel being able to pull that off, where it's not just gonna be oh cool, there's the guy. Okay. Oh, is that Squirrel Girl? Oh, look, she's got a squirrel tail and she's eating nuts in this very short scene. And then she's not going to be a character, but hey, if you read comics, you recognize her, right?
If you had to pick, let's say, three Avengers to lead the Avengers, they can be past, present, current. Make it just, I don't know, original casting completely. Who do you go
Okay.
with?
Okay, so we'll go Hawkeye, we'll go Namor, and we go
Are you doing
well,
the currently assigned actors for those characters?
no, I hated Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye. He looks like a pug. I hated
He's got the same head
I
shape as Pedro.
yeah, I wanted someone that looks more American. He doesn't look American to me, you know.
Hmm.
I needed a blonde Hawkeye. Give me a blonde athletic Hawkeye, not
Stephen Amell.
someone that get I mean oh fuck. I don't know but I mean when you get beaten up by a fucking when you
Snowplow.
cutting yeah, a plow that beats you up. I'm sorry, you can't be a superhero anymore.
It would have been
So
great if
give
he
me
was crippled and they had to bring him back anyway, and it was just a total like Flash style CG body and face. Maybe you
you just
leave the
have
face
Hawkeye.
alone. You mask the face
Hawkeye's just,
and
Hawkeye's just sitting on every scene because he can show his feet. Yeah, I mean I would not be the right choice because I would just pick weirdos to be the Avengers. So
I think you get
because I honestly
Tom Hardy's Venom is the new
you know
leader of the
there's no Captain
Avengers.
America, no Captain
Nope.
America. Fuck them. Who
Well,
cares?
hold on
No,
a second. Let's not completely dismiss. How about we do Matt Salinger's Captain America from 1990, where he faces the Italian Red Skull? We get Dolph Lundgren back as the Punisher.
okay, okay, yeah,
The Human
but it
Torch
has
from
to be
Fantastic Four
has
'94.
but it has to be from that movie.
The
He's
one
just
where
in the
Newman is his
sewer.
sidekick.
Yeah. You're in
All
the
right.
sewer. It just
So
stinks, but
we're
you're
gonna
cool.
well, Ray Stevenson's dead, so we have
Yeah.
to pull out the Dolph Lundgren Punisher. Thomas
Hmm.
Jane, he'll just I don't know, he'll sit around, he'll
No,
wait, and
he'll
we'll
probably
pair
wait.
him with Newman from Punisher War Game,
Yep. And
Ghost Rider,
then,
Cage.
or will you get a Mexican for the Mexican Ghost Rider in the comics?
I think we keep the Mexicans at a minimum.
I agree. And I'm perfectly fine with not getting
I
Diego
think
Luna for the
Pedro's
Ghost
already
Rider.
pushing it.
Yeah. Let me see. I keep thinking of like DC characters.
Jackie Earl Haley is Rorschach.
Yeah. We get we get Dupe, you know, that alien character that's just a ball. That's very powerful, but it's like in the level of Howard the Duck, where you can't have a human play him because he's just like a floating green ball. I
I have
think
no
let's just
idea who
fucking go
that is.
weird. You know who Dupe is?
No, I don't.
Let's just go weird. Let's bring
Let's
back
bring back Underdog. Everybody's favorite hero. Crypto the Super Dog? Nah, fuck that shit. People don't like him. Underdog's the way to go.
it's Underdog Marvel.
Underdog is children's cartoon from the 60s. He's
Yeah,
neither. I
no,
bet
there's
You
no.
know what? I bet DC owns Underdog.
That's probably a comic book, right?
I think he's not based on a comic book, but I feel like DC would have
This is
snatched him up
cartoon.
like they snatched up Scooby Doo and the
Well, they
Harlem
did.
Globetrotters. You
Was
get the
that movie
Harlem
successful?
Globetrotters as part of the Avengers.
I'm wondering how successful that Underdog movie was. Oh, not very much.
No, it
Okay,
was not.
never mind. Well, no, I know. 65 million worldwide. That's horrible. Okay. I think Sue Storm should be the leader because she's a strong woman. We should have Hawkeye, who's a cripple, and then we should have Nicolas Cage be Ghost Rider. And those are my three Avengers. That it sounds like the Superman super what's it called? The gang, whatever, the gang thing where you have three characters that nobody gives a
Justice
fuck about.
Gang.
Justice Gang. Yeah, let's do three characters no one cares about and hope people care. That's what I would do with my Fantastic Four. Oh, sorry, my Avengers movie. I would just get, characters that nobody wants. No Iron Man, no Captain America, no Falcon, no Winter Soldier. Just
How about
goofy.
this? You
You
get,
get Plastic Man from DC. Why not? Let's
I
just
think
bring
for
him
the
in.
actual leader, you bring in Zordon from Power Rangers, and he's played by James Woods.
Okay. Hmm. I mean, he's just gonna be on the screen, right? And just laying there, like the Zordon, just a face. Yeah, why not? Fuck it. Let's just do a. Wasn't that Power Rangers movie successful?
Nope,
Oh,
I don't think so.
well, I guess that explains why there was no
Perfect
sequel.
time for a reboot. Saban produces this new Avengers movie. We also bring in who was Mickey Rourke's character from Iron Man 2. You bring him in, but he's a good guy now, like the Silver Surfer in this Fantastic Four movie. He wants to, it's kind of a Suicide Squad thing, a little bit, and he just wants the best for birds in America.
Yeah, and he just uses his weapons to like,
Yep.
keep his birds safe. He just like moves them around so that no one attacks his birds.
No
Whiplash, right?
planes,
That
no
was the character.
helicopters hit the birds. That's right.
I
Man, he's been on a
what?
roll with his posts recently, Mickey
Oh
Rourke.
no! Oh no! Let's see if I can pull his
There's such
Instagram.
good stuff. There's an
This is
AI dogs are angel sent by God video that he posted. There's also what was a troubling post at first glance for Eric Roberts. I thought Eric Roberts was
this
dead.
one.
Yes. Eric
Oh, he.
Roberts, his picture, was thinking about Eric last night. He is a very special talent, so underrated. I have nothing but great respect for Eric. He is one of the great, great ones. Blessings, Mickey, Dima, and kids. Woof, woof. Heart emojis, prayer emoji, art
Do you think his
emojis, car
dogs? Do you think
emojis.
his? Do you think his dogs feel the same way as his? Because he's speaking for them.
Yeah, of course. I think they
What is
think very
this?
similarly.
What the fuck is? All right, so you need to get a dog so that he fights against Satan to protect you, right?
Yeah.
I love that he turned off his comments. It's such an old man move Good for him. Big dick
Too many
or
people
man
were
with
saying, Mickey, that's not a real dog. Mickey, that's
like
just
Mickey.
a computer. It's an AI.
Like
He didn't want to
Mickey,
hear
why
it.
is your Mickey? Why is your muscular friend wearing a thong in this photo and nothing else? What is
His caption's
this?
like, I love my friends.
Yeah, I love a muscular friend. Look at his. Let's. What is this? Mickey Rourke is selling his motorcycle from a film Harley Davidson and Marlboro Man. Oh, cool.
Hmm.
Um, he will be in person to do the transaction. Maybe you should buy this. Hand over the registration and paperwork. Anyone interested in a bike, please contact Dima McKinney. Who's this?
That's his
To set up
personal
an
assistant.
appointment. Oh, that's the muscular guy, right?
Well, one of
Jesus
them. Yeah, he
Christ.
hangs out with a lot of guys that are
God
muscular.
damn. That are very shirtless usually. The bike has not been ridden for over 20 years, so the mileage isn't high. It probably doesn't fucking work. It says there are many motorcycles made that look like this, but this one's the real deal, owned by Mickey. You're more than welcome to take this bike for a ride. See how it feels. If you like it, it's yours.
Okay.
I it just blows my mind how like you would expect someone that's been this successful to not have to fucking uh what's the website um
I just sent you, by the way, another post of him showing off one of his muscular friends.
oh boy.
I
All right,
sent it to
let's
your
look for it.
Instagram DM. I don't know if you're logged in or not.
Yeah, I'm right here. Oh, yeah. Good looking, John.
Heart
And
with an
Squee.
arrow emoji. And
Wait,
Sequi, eye
so the
roll
girl
emoji.
he rolls his eyes with the female, but the man has got a heart and a 100. And also, wait, who's Dima again? That's his assistant, right?
Yes, Mickey, Dima, kids, woof, woof.
Woof woof woof.
Hope your
That's
kids
not
are
even a
good. Woof, woof, fire emoji, heart emojis.
that's not even a
He
woof
just
woof.
turned
That's a
into like
woof.
a
Woof.
70-year-old woman.
We need to get Mickey on something.
Well, anything. He would be welcome in anything at all, at any time. There's nobody. You could give me access to Tom Cruise. If I had the chance to work with Mickey Rourke instead, I would pick Mickey Rourke, 100%.
I honestly think like if we were to work with Mickey Rourke, we'll probably have more fun with him when the camera is not rolling.
I've heard mixed things. I've heard if he likes you, if he respects you, you get a good time. You have a breeze for a shoot. If he doesn't, it's gonna be hell. It's gonna be the
Well,
worst time of your life.
we just have to show up shirtless
Oh yeah.
and be very muscular and oily.
Who's the
We gotta,
DC? We gotta bring DC on
yeah.
the shoot.
Well, DC's gotta lose some fucking weight. Stop being so fucking
I
fat.
don't
That
think
fat
DC's.
ass
Why is this
piece of
narrative?
shit.
DC's fat. DC's not.
Fucking
DC's jacked.
fat, fucking fat DC. That's his narrative. I'm just justifying his thoughts because that's what he says all the time. Yeah, this obese man DC has to get in shape so that Mickey Rourke can.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the only one that probably has, the possibility of getting abs that might attract him. Because I'm definitely not getting abs anytime soon. I don't know
No,
about you.
I've never. I think I might have had abs for a day when I was 4 years old, when I was just really skinny. I don't know. I've been doing sit-ups, but it's still never
Yeah,
happening. I've just given
yeah,
up on
no.
that dream.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
just trying to not die at 40. That's it. Like I'm not trying to get ripped,
Pretty
I'm
much.
just trying to, yeah, pretty much.
It's
So
how can I lessen
we're,
my heart disease risk? That's
yep.
really the primary concern here.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're not at the point of attracting someone like Mickey Rourke, who's really a fan of sculpt bodies. So unfortunately, that won't be the pull for him. But
Here's what we have to do. We got to find two very muscular guys that can pose as us. So we call them up, we do all the talking, but then when it comes time to meet, it's just two very well sculpted men.
do we know anyone that's muscular? I don't think we do.
I'm trying to think.
Nope, I don't
I
think we
feel like I've
do.
probably worked with people on like commercial shoots, on corporate stuff that would
That's it.
fit the bill. But between like in our group, who is it?
No.
Who's there? It's nobody.
No.
Wasn't like Jerry jacked for a summer or something?
No, he just
No.
shot a lot because his
Oh right,
intestine was
Jerry got
fucked
really
up.
skinny and almost died. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was never jacked.
It's that's like me saying, yeah, I got in shape. And it's like, no, you just got diabetes and wanted to not die. So I was forced myself to not eat. But
I
no,
mean,
we don't
Jake
have
is
any.
probably the most in shape of anybody in
Oh
our
yeah.
group because he only eats
Yeah.
eggs.
Yeah. With best muscles, worst farts.
Yeah,
Jacob A. Miller. Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to. Do you think he will be willing to take some shirtless pictures at a waterfall or something to attract me to work?
that's a great idea. Holy shit. You know, Mickey's got the cowboy aesthetic too, so there's could be
Yep,
some overlap there. There's some work. There's some work that could be
that's
put
right.
in. It would
Yeah,
be organic.
make sure he's wearing jeans and like a belt buckle that's huge and a cowboy hat and shirtless, and he's just holding his hat in the waterfall, and then the water is just falling
Oh,
on
he's
his
just taking a
chest.
shower. He's just, he's a nature boy. So he likes to
Yeah,
go and take the natural showers under the waterfall. And yeah, sometimes he leaves the cowboy hat on. Sometimes he leaves
yeah,
the
yeah,
denim jeans and the big belt buckle on. That's what
yeah.
happens sometimes.
Yeah, his perfectly shaved chest is getting some water from that waterfall. That's gonna.
The suds that
I think
are over his, biceps, it's all just
he,
natural. It's just resting
uh,
there in the crevices.
he's honestly. I feel like he's our only bet because who else? Like, po- we're gonna get Hasipin to attract to attract
Michael Lewis Hasselman is going to
Mumkey.
be.
Yeah, Eggy. No, Mumkey.
I don't think
Doubt it.
so.
Jerry. I don't know.
Mm-mm.
I'm 40. I'm too old, and I'm fat, so I can't. Well, not not in shape enough for him. I don't think you're in shape enough for him either,
Whoa,
because in shape
hey,
enough
don't
for
take
him.
jabs at me. How dare you? I have
And
body
I haven't
dysmorphia. I'm going to go
haven't seen
puke.
haven't seen you oiled up yet, but
Not
maybe I'll
yet.
change my mind when I see you oiled up.
Is that what's going to be in this script that you're presenting to me and me and
Yeah,
Jerry? Excuse me, you're Hans.
yeah. It's just you ripped. This is movies, and these are my abs.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah,
Maybe
no, I think
oh god,
we're kind
Kenny
of
is
fucked.
used to be Kenny actually used to be in like very good shape,
Mm,
and then he stopped being in good shape. Now his shape
yeah,
just yo-yos. Sometimes we get a fat Kenny, sometimes we get a skinny Kenny, and
yeah.
that's it.
That's as deep as we go when it comes to muscles, I guess, right?
I
Yeah,
mean, it's
we're
not really a concern or priority for
no,
anybody I know except
no.
Jake or DC, and even
And that
DC.
yeah, he doesn't care. And also when we go to like let's say New York actors that we know, none of them are like
They're toned from not eating
but
much.
not, you know,
Yeah,
make your work, horny, make your work quality, you know what I mean? Like they look like New York actors. They don't look like bodybuilders, which is what he
no,
likes.
they're
Mm.
all we like craft beer and
Yeah.
kratom, and we're all bisexual.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
not gonna do it for Mickey, unfortunately. Mickey likes to
No.
see the work. But if you are friends with Mickey Rourke, please have him contact the Movies Podcast. We'd love to talk about Pope of Greenwich Village and Eric Roberts with him. We could get Eric.
Yeah.
We could always get Eric
Anyone can get Eric. That's the saddest part. People should not have the access that,
to an
the
Academy Award
random
nominee.
the random person has so much access to an Academy Award nominee that they don't even know. They can put him in their fucking
I've
sandwich shop commercials.
I've
It's-
emailed his agent 5 or 6 times, always from the same email address. And I say, hey, can I pay you $600 to get Eric Roberts? And the answer has never been no. It's always been, let's talk. Let's hop on a call. Or he will counter with, I think we're actually more in the ballpark of $1,100.
Hmm.
This is an Academy Award nominee we're talking about.
Yeah.
So
And then you look at his IMDb and you're like, no, you're not. You're
how can you tell with
bullshitting me.
90 movies a year?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lie.
Yeah.
That movie where he shows up for 5 minutes in one room that has nothing to do with the rest of the movie, that was not.
This
thousands of
cut
dollars.
John Malkovich role in Fantastic Four could have been Eric Roberts 100%. There's no question about it. Mole Man could have been Eric Roberts. You could have had Galactus, the little sliver of mouth, be Eric Roberts' mouth. You can. He doesn't even have to leave home. Just have him get in front of a green screen. You can chroma key that shit.
Is any other real director giving him work other than Nolan though?
Nolan gave him work in 2008 one time.
Okay.
Paul Thomas Anderson cast him in Inherent Vice,
Hmm.
Babylon. He was
That was
in Damien Chazelle's. Every like
ah,
bright,
every
young,
film
cool
nerd,
director.
every film nerd director is
Yeah,
casting him. Yeah, right. Yeah, everyone that's seen Star 86 uh when they were young and didn't have a career is casting him as something.
he was
So we'll get there.
apparently. I feel like Buddy Duress told me that he was cast in Good Time, and then they cut him out of Good Time.
Hmm. So I guess what you're saying is that we'll get him at some point,
We will
you
have.
know.
I can as long as he's alive,
We
because
just
he's
don't know how sad it would be. We don't know how sick high he would
no. It
be,
would not be. It would not be like that.
or how
If I
what's
ever cast Eric Roberts in something, it would be something very. I know he gets into this groove of he takes every single role as long as they meet his price, and he'll show up in the same like shirt in several films. It's always this light blue button down, and his wife will often be there. His wife is a casting director. I mean, Matt Rife just came out with a movie. DC sent us this post where Eric Roberts is
yeah.
playing the old Matt Rife. If I ever cast Eric Roberts, it would be a very distinct, specific kind of role. You know, it would not be. I would do my damnedest to ensure it's not that Eric Roberts who you're getting in the movie. So you gotta,
We'll
if you
get
can
some.
get them, and you can get them, you just use them correctly. And I think
Yeah,
don't
you can get yeah you can
don't
get
simply bank off of we got Eric Roberts. That's a name because it clearly doesn't mean much.
you can get something out of him because he's a talented actor. But I
He
feel like
does Doctor Who fan films.
most people just get intimidated by his name and they don't really ask much of him. I feel like,
He will forget,
and
even if like the movie's great. He's gonna forget who you are in a week anyway. He does so
exactly.
many of these.
Yeah, so don't respect him. Fuck him. Who cares?
Well,
Just
I
treat him
wouldn't
like a
say
piece of
no.
shit.
Don't say don't respect. I would say don't let the pressure get to you.
Right. Yeah. So
Yes.
maybe, hopefully, Eric Roberts is not going to die anytime soon, and maybe we'll get him on something in the future.
Yeah.
So
Stay
that'll be,
healthy, Eric.
yeah. Use those $800 that you're getting per movie wisely. uh, because I mean, 800 times 50, it's a pretty good chunk of change, you know? So um, use it
Yeah.
on your health so we can get you in 5 years or,
Well,
later.
Eric was supposed to do, I think, uh,
What role? What role from MSL was it his?
I think it was supposed to be your character's
Devlin.
accomplice. Yeah, it was Devlin.
Oh.
Well, he's always driving. You know, you can sit down that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it was originally your character's accomplice, and then no, it was actually here's what it was going to be. In the original script of Mass Stay Lottery, and what happens in the movie, you drive my character to his family home, and he drops in to get a yearbook. And in the original script, there's a scene that features Rathke coming home for the first time in like 10 years, 15 years, something like that. And his dad is there, his mom is dead. And Eric Roberts would have played my character, Rathke's dad. And then when I got rid of that scene, because I was like, this script is way too long, it became let's cast him as Ziegler, who is
Mm.
Hans's character's main accomplice. Because that's like a very squared off role. That's kind of easy. That's a day or two shooting max. So I was thinking something like that. Originally, it was going to be, oh, what is his name? James Healy, I think, agreed to do my character's dad from, was it James Healy? Fuck. He was in Street Trash. He was in King of New York. He originally signed on to play my character's dad. Um, and then I can't even remember what it was, but we wound up having to pause on that because of COVID. And then I reassessed the script and I was like, it's not even an important scene. We're losing money if we hire this guy. And I wasn't working at the time. I was getting like touch and go jobs, and it would have been, I think, $1,500 probably to get this guy for a couple days and fly him out and everything else. Or no, actually, he was a New York actor. I don't think it's James Healy. It's James something. Fuck, he's actually fun. Like he's a good actor. He was funny in Street Trash. He plays like a bellboy or something. He's right at the end. Oh, he was in Frankenhooker. He's the star of Frankenhooker. That's probably what
Okay.
most people know him from. He's the Frankenstein scientist in Frankenhooker.
James Lawrence.
James Lorenz. James Healy. I don't know who the fuck
Lawrence.
James Healy is. You want to pull up a picture of James Lorenz real quick? Because I thought he's old enough now, and he's got like similar bags under his eyes like I do. I'm sure this could be something that works. Your screen takes forever. Yeah, James Lorenz. So he agreed to do it, and he was cast, and then COVID. So that scene never happened. Mass State Lottery 2. Go buy a shirt. Maybe we'll make that.
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. Depends on which ending you
You.
get at the
Yeah.
screening if you go. All right, we can wrap up the show on that note. I can't believe we almost did 2 hours here on Fantastic Four.
We didn't. We did like 20 minutes.
It was like 20 minutes.
But
Happy
that's fine.
Gilmore did
Yeah.
45 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah. We haven't even seen it. We did more Happy Gilmore than Fantastic
Yeah.
Four. I guess if you want to like tie it into a knot, Fantastic Four is a very non-threatening movie. It's not a movie that's gonna make you think. It's not a movie that's gonna have much depth
Think,
or
feel, anything.
anything more than oh look, the characters like each other. And that's kind of what this movie is based on, the relationship between the four of them, which I mean it makes sense as a Fantastic Four movie. I just don't think that's enough for you to care that much here, and it suffers from the same thing that every other Marvel movie does, which I always have an issue with, which is stakes don't matter, and no one's in any type of real threat. And whenever someone dies, give it 5 minutes and they'll come back to life because who cares? There's no stakes, and that's what you get from this. Cool aesthetics, though.
Yeah, I like that it was set in the past. I appreciated that you didn't have to watch anything from Marvel ever in order to hop into it. I like the editing. I like the vintage sets. Some of the CG with the Thing, specifically when he's outdoors and talking to Natasha Lyonne, was like unbelievably bad. And it
Yeah.
looks good in other shots where it's like they got the texture of the rocks looking pretty legit. But then you get one thing where he's in a green screen or something. It reminded me of the Indian kid from Spider-Man No Way Home who plays Flash Thompson when they shot him outside of one of these subway stations in Queens, but he wasn't actually there. It was a green screen shot. It looked like a phone commercial. That it was that level of bad. The cast
The
is
baby's bad too. Baby's
yeah.
horrible.
The baby plot. Listen, just any pro family shit being in a movie, and it's like an actual like full family, and it was a baby that was naturally born in space. Cleanest baby ever, by the way. Upon being born, not an ounce of blood. You would have blood fucking floating around the space cabin if that was real. Not this baby. He's the clean baby. Of course, he's the savior
Blood?
of the world.
Talk about poop. They shit
Oh yeah,
themselves when
yeah.
they give birth
She'd be
too.
shitting
Yeah.
and blood. I don't like to think of women doing that sort of thing. In my head, it's like Santa Claus. You just act like, he's not real.
Right. They never shit.
He would have been a good Avenger. Santa Claus. I bet they did like a good Christmas Avengers movie. You could have Santa Claus in there, and Tim Allen plays Santa Claus. So you bring it in the Disney multiverse.
Hell yeah.
Martin
I'm down.
Short is Jack Frost, and he's coming back to kill Iron Man again. Could be great. All right. That's been movies for this week. Thank you for listening.